Okay, so first up on the list, we have the newly launched Hyphens Ice Dunk Face Mask, which is ideally supposed to depuff and cool down your skin and face. And the first thing that I did was to go and check the ingredient list if it contains menthol or peppermint, those kind of things. And if it did, it would have been an immediate turn down. This does not contain menthol or peppermint directly, but it does contain a menthol derivative, which is menthone glycerin acetal, which has a long lasting and non irritating cooling effect. And let me tell you, this in fact is long lasting, meaning even after you remove this face mask, your skin still feels cooling, and that cooling effect lasts for about at least 15 to 20 minutes, which is something I do like. But does it work? I think it does to a certain extent, but I think you would only need it in certain situations. For example, you have a very early morning flight to catch, or you are traveling, you're on a trip, you do not have access to ice, and you just want to quickly use something that can depuff your face. This can actually be good, but again, it's just subjective. Do you really need it? Do you really wake up with puffy eyes, puffy face? Then yeah, it should work. Otherwise, you can skip it. Next, we have Love Child's One Take 5-in-1 BB Cream. The packaging is class apart. I think it's super premium looking. It is very heavy though. A product that you would in fact use on an everyday basis, a BB cream. The packaging feels super heavy for no reason, but I don't know, maybe that's what the brand was trying to go for. Now, in my shorts video, I saw a lot of comments where people thought that this looked muddy and not very nice. So here is a better look. All of the footage you are seeing right now is shot from a Sony camera, so you can see it better. It doesn't really look muddy. I think I just overdid my bronzer in the shorts video, but here you can see it's going on very smoothly. Really, I have done a very good skin prep, so it's not looking very matte. But if you do not do that, it can look matte. So if you have dry skin, you wouldn't like the finish of it if you do not do your skin prep good enough. It gives light to slightly medium coverage, not exactly medium, but overall it does look quite nice and wears nice as well. But I still think this is very overpriced. It retails for 1,299 if I'm not wrong, and there are so many better alternatives to this. Next is this blush that I honestly wouldn't have tried if it wasn't for one of you guys. I got a request to try this blush in my comment section. This is from Revolution Pro, their matte blush in the shade Stripped. And honestly, I have to just go out and say that this is one of the best matte, quote unquote, matte blushes that I've tried so far. It's not necessarily matte in a way that it exaggerates the skin or highlights anything. I did try the e.l.f. matte blush, the matte putty blush ones, and I absolutely hated it. It did not work out for me. And it's actually nothing like that one. It blends beautifully. It's not overly matte. So if you can get this on discount, I think this is full paisa vasool product. This next product again sounded super gimmicky to me. This is the Lakme Hya Matte Concealer. Now, Hya Matte in lipsticks kind of makes sense, but in concealer felt very confusing to me. By the way, I have the shade Sand, and surprisingly, it is quite nice. It's like a very nice highlighter sort of a shade for my skin tone. It has a very light coverage, does not really crease all that much. It's easy to blend, is good for an everyday basis, and I quite like it. Next up on the list is the Innisfree No Sebum Mineral Powder, the Tweety version of it. And for the first time, I did not buy this for the packaging. I was genuinely in need of a setting powder. And because it's a mineral powder, it's supposed to be non-pore clogging and all of those good things. But one thing that I absolutely dislike about this is that every time I use this, a lot of it just comes out. I have to be very careful about removing the excess and then using it. And I also feel like I'm inhaling almost 80% of it in this process. So I don't know. I mean, it does the job. Packaging is cute, but it's not very functional. So I don't know if I should recommend it. Now, after trying and absolutely falling in love with this tubing mascara from stage 9 to 9, I found out that e.l.f. recently launched their lash extender tubing mascara on Nykaa, and of course I had to pick this up. And what do I even talk about it? I think you can see how beautifully it separates my lashes. If you're somebody who, of course, likes volume plus length but does not want it at the expense of looking clumpy or very heavy on your eyes, you want something very fluttery and just lightweight on the eyes, then this is a really good one. Honestly, I've been reaching out to this one a lot more than my stage one. I do reach out to that as well. But on an everyday basis, when you have like a very subtle thin winged eyeliner, this one on top just makes your eyes pop in such a great way. By the way, this is just one layer of it, and now after a couple of seconds I'm going to do the second layer, and look at this. It It insanely separates it, adds a lot of length. Again, not a lot of volume, but I think that's how it gives you that super fluttery, just like lightweight sort of effect that I absolutely love. And like I said, I cannot recommend this enough. Next is this peptide lip buff from Rufa Beauty that I did not even know I needed, because I have always bought a lip exfoliator that comes in a small jar. You have to squeeze it out, apply it, and buff it and remove it, but have never been able to use it. I'm just lazy like that. But this is basically two-in-one product, because the applicator is designed in a way to exfoliate, plump, as well as heal your lips. So you're not just exfoliating, it also has this like product inside which you can squeeze out, and it is going to heal your lips. But I generally just remove it and then apply my favorite lip balm. That's just what I do. But having said that, if you're somebody who has dry lips, number one, or somebody who applies a liquid lip on a constant or a daily basis almost, this is going to be a game changer, because you're not going to have any lip product like sticking on or latching onto your lips. It is truly, truly a game changer, and I keep it in my everyday bag now. Next on the list, I have the Draw Me In lip markers from DM Beauty. I have two shades with me. I have Mark My Words and Drawn to You. Mark My Words being slightly cool toned brown, and Drawn to You is honestly my lips but better. I'm mostly not able to see a prominent difference with this particular shade. Now, having said that, I'm going to compare this with the Rufa Beauty one in just a couple of seconds, but let's first focus on this one first. Now with this, I've noticed that I have to kind of shake it upside down for a couple of seconds to really get the pigment out there, because unfortunately the pigmentation on this is not very high, so I have to generally layer it 2 or 3 times. Especially with the shade Mark My Words, you would expect that this would just go on in one swipe, you wouldn't have to layer it considering how dark the shade is. But since the pigmentation is not 100% there, I have to layer it 2 to 3 times to see it or make a bold statement with this acting as my lip liner. On the other side, I'm trying or showing you the Rufa Beauty one. Of course, the applicator is slightly different, even though that really does not make a lot of difference. Both the applicators do just fine or work just fine. But with this one, you can see pigmentation is better than the DM Beauty one, and hence 1 to max 2 layer is actually enough. Actually, with just one layer, I am good to go. I don't really have to layer it 2 or 3 times. But pigmentation wise, I think Rufa Beauty definitely gets points there. To fill in my lips, I'm using the DM Beauty Drawn to You shade. And you can see what I was talking about earlier. Even though the shade is nice, it's a warm reddish sort of a brown. Because the pigmentation is not very good, I barely see like a prominent difference with this shade. Whereas on the Rufa Beauty side, I'm using the shade 8. Now this is not a warm brown shade, it's mostly like a pinky shade, but somehow it creates a better contrast with the dark lip liner. By the way, did I mention, I don't think I did, but I used the shade Sheesh as my lip liner on Rufa Beauty side. So I think I would recommend the Rufa Beauty ones over the DM Beauty ones. Number one, it's much more affordable. Number two, highly pigmented. And both of these are or become mostly 99% transfer proof once you let them dry, and they do not budge, they do not move. The lasting power is pretty much the same, but if I have to recommend one over the other, I would definitely recommend the Rufa. Next up on the list is the Inside Cosmetics Mousse lipstick. I have the shade Chestnut Treat. Now this is a new launch, and honestly I'm becoming less and less excited for their lipstick launches, because सारे lipstick में almost 19-20 का फर्क रहता है. For example, the Prime Matte lipstick also gives me the same vibe, the same feeling. It does not feel matte but then does become matte, but this one in specific does become more matte than the previous range. Having said that, there's nothing revolutionary about it, there's nothing unique about it. I like it, it's a good lipstick, so I guess you can go for it if you like a shade in this particular range. Now I have Rufa Beauty's Fix My Brow Brow Gel. Unfortunately, this one is not for someone like me who has sparse eyebrow, because every time I slick back or try to do that laminated eyebrow effect, which is what this product is supposed to do, it highlights all the areas where I do not have eyebrows. And especially right now in the video, you can see that my eyebrow wali didi threaded off like this corner of my arch, and it's really highlighted. So I guess if you have really thick and bushy brow, you are going to really like this. And I think the effect does last for a good amount of time, so maybe not for me, but definitely for others out there. Next, I have Lamour's Lip Drip Gloss Stick. I bought 3 for 9.99, but currently it's available for 8.99, and I absolutely love this because Lamour has nailed the formulation with this. It's not overly melty where it spills out of your lip lines. It's very clumsy, you have to perfect it. By that I'm referring to the Mars one. Even though that is quite affordable, it just gets all over the place, very honestly, which this is not like that whatsoever. But there is absolutely no compromise on the shine and the moisturizing factor of it, and I absolutely love the shade ranges as well, especially this shade in particular. I was so excited to show this to you that I kind of broke it, but you can see this shade in particular is slightly sheer to buildable, which is nice. And again, I would highly recommend this if you are in the market for a melty sort of a lip balm, which is also economical, but you don't want to try Mars because it goes and spills everywhere. Last but not the least, I got the Nykaa Cosmetics Super Light Lip Cloud lipstick, liquid lipstick in the shade Cinnamon Swirl. And I think the internet was absolutely right about how it feels on the lips, because that is the USP of this product. It literally feels like you have nothing on the lips. It sits so beautifully and comfortably on your lips, but it does not last. Okay, it just does not last on me. And I got this one on discount, so I think this is totally worth it, at least on discounted price. I think it would also be worth it on full price if you are somebody who craves a liquid lipstick which literally feels like nothing. And the shade again is beautiful.